Oh man, what is up, my parentpreneurs? Boy, do we have one today. We're talking about the entrepreneur trap that I've literally been in for how many years now? I can't tell you. You wake up and you're like, wait a second, I'm in a trap. You look around, you're like, whoa. I woke up one day and I said, yeah, I've been trapped. We're going to talk about the entrepreneur trap today. The past, present of what I'm doing now, and then the future of how we're going to move forward past this trap. Because this is real. This is some real shit. All right. Essentially, what trap am I talking about? There's many traps, but what trap am I talking about? I'm specifically talking about the service-based business trap. Okay, most of us, we go to work and we work for a person at the very first part of our career, and we gain skills. We level up, level up, and we then think to ourselves, I did a really good job serving this one or two or three, employers. I've got enough skills here. I believe I got enough skills that I can then open my own business and provide those same set of skills to other people. Okay? That's a lot. That was at least my thinking. You may be different. You may not be like me. You might be. You may not be. But that was my thinking. My thinking was like, okay, great. I learned, I started out as an artist. I learned graphic design, and then went from graphic design to e-commerce, and then from e-commerce to literally like building out like all the things. And I'm like, okay, I've proven myself. I've dedicated 10 years to this. I'm ready. I'm ready to level up and then go to building a business. I've helped many other people build businesses. I've done all these things, right? You're like, you boost yourself up because you feel good about what you've done. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times it's not how hard you row, but it's the boat that you're in. I think this is a investor quote, and I didn't understand that at first until I realized, like, there are certain games that you can play where you can only level up to a certain point, and there are other games where you can level up to this much, and there's other games where you can level up to this much. I can't reach the ceiling, but you can tell. And service-based businesses are, honestly, if I'm being very candid, and I didn't realize this for so long, some of the lowest leveraged businesses. Now, I say that as in you providing the service, okay? If you crack the code and figure out how to hire employees and like build out the team, and you're happy serving two different fucking beasts. You got your team that you have to figure out how to convince to do the work on your behalf, and then you have to also then build a client list. Before you even have the team, you have to build a client list of people that your team can then help. It's a shit show, by the way. It's a mad shit show. I'm just being honest, bro. I'm just being honest. You leave a really cush corporate job a lot of times to then actually building your own prison, okay? Because think about it. When you are working for someone, you're working for someone, okay? You're working for one person. They have their crazy ass needs and ideas, and that's okay. That's cool. They got their crazy ideas, and you get used to their crazy ideas. You get used to their crazy shit. You're like, you know what? I can help this person. I'm a little crazy too. I get them. I vibe out with them. I may not agree with everything that they do and all their ethics. You pick your poison, right? And you're like, okay, cool. I can vibe with this. And then the other counterbalance to that is you have the boss and you have the teammates that you work with. And so usually when you're employed, you're kind of balancing the 2 to 3, right? You want to have something that you love doing, right? You're enjoying doing. Then you want to be able to have a boss that, you feel is not too crazy, and like, yes, they want to make money, and yes, they don't want to be in the business half the time. Makes sense. And then you also want to enjoy your day-to-day, because you're going to be working you're going to be working with the team. And so most times those are the 3 things you look for when you're employed. Obviously the money, all that stuff, but as far as like culture-wise, feeling good about what you're doing, those are kind of the things you deal with. And a lot of times the numbers on that are pretty low, as far as you have like one boss, maybe you have a manager or 2 or something like that. And then like your department, you probably have like maybe 3 to 10 people. And that is manageable for you to exist in this ecosystem. That's not too crazy. But what is crazy is when you then say, I'm gonna go do it I'm gonna go out and do it myself. I got this. Can't be that hard. Can't be that hard. Famous last words. And what happens is you, become every single department. You become the marketing department. You become the sales department. You become the fulfillment department. You become the ascension department, because like, say you get all the people in the door and then they're all falling out the bottom, so you want to keep them. So you have to figure out how to keep them happy and get them to buy more and more. So you become all those departments. We're just talking about yourself, okay? We're talking about the business almost of one. I'm not saying you cannot scale up, you can't do all these different things, but when you initially start, it is just you. And don't get me wrong, you could have some sort of backed money, you could start with a partner or whatever, but I'm more talking to the people, at least the people, myself, how I started in my past. Just myself, right? And what happens is, this is the trap, okay? You think to yourself, there's many traps in the trap. You think to yourself, I'm getting paid this amount of money to do this service. I'm willing to bet that I can go over here and maybe get double that amount and get a lot more clientele. But what we're not counting is, one, to build a good product is already insane. Like, it's an insane journey. There's so many micro steps, but you may have had this hourly rate that you made, but now all of a sudden you're doing marketing and not getting paid for marketing. You're doing sales and not getting paid for sales. You're doing ascension and not getting paid for ascension. Then fulfillment, technically the hours that you spend on that project, which I'm willing to bet will double, triple, quadruple, because what happens is you get this false sense that you can do something really well. But the truth of the matter is the thing is, you can do something really well for one person. You got used to your crazy fucking boss. Your boss was like a little cuckoo, or a little angry, or didn't want to be there. And you got used to that one person. But now all of a sudden you have to get 10, 20, 100 of those people, and then understand all their different needs, because they're not just like your boss that you used to work for. All their different types of needs, and then cater to all those different types of needs. It's custom. And you lose your mind trying to serve all that and do all that. At least I lost my mind trying to do all that and serve all that. And then that's not the worst part. All these people come in the door, you have to keep them all happy. There's many, many different relationships that you're managing. And then you're like, you know what? I think I can hire a team to help me with this. And all of a sudden now you have more relationships that you have to manage, right? The team. Again, I'm not saying that employees are not scalable, but it's not as easy as it looks. And I do think that there's a much better way. Like, I came across this business model I'm going to tell you about several times, and I guess my ego, or my want to prove something to the younger Will that had the dream of building out a design business, the younger Will that had the dream to build out a web business, I think I wanted to like self-fulfill that promise. Even though like young 18-year-old Will, 20-year-old Will didn't know shit about business. So it was, I just saw I saw these designers and the developers, and initially it was like I wanted to get a job in that industry, and then eventually it became a bit bigger where it was like, I want to build out my own agency. I want to build out this, I want to freelance and do this thing. Working for the employee and working for the employer is just a temporary thing. Oh my God, guys. Like, my God, the watch wheel fuck up is real, bro. There's just so many mistakes across the way. Anyways, that's the past. So the thing that I want to solidify is that there, service-based businesses, which are like pretty much just all it is customer service. You're having to cater to people every single day. And if you didn't like catering to your one boss and your like 5 to 10 teammates, chances are you're probably not going to enjoy catering to 50 clients that all have different needs, and then dealing with all sorts of different vendors, contractors, hiring people, then rehiring people, then retraining and all that. Chances are you probably aren't going to enjoy that. Now, there are crazies out there. Look, I thought I was that crazy for a while. I was like, I just need to brute force this. I just need to fucking knock this out. I just need to go through the hard point. I just need to go through the pain. Just need to go to the pain, and then the upside's gonna be crazy. The upside is crazy. Don't get it twisted. When you figure it out, if you figure it out, upside's crazy. So I do think it could be a worthy endeavor, but I don't think it's the highest leverage boat. If you're gonna work really hard, like, I'd really like outsized returns. Like, if I'm gonna do something anyways, like, might as well get the gold. Because you can work all as hard as you want, and a lot of times you're getting the bronze. You're getting the bronze in service-based, okay? So, there are two other business types. I'll only be focusing on this one because I don't have all that much experience with the other one, but I imagine it's a little bit better than service-based. But the three different, kind of coming into the present right here, the three different types of businesses are, you have service-based, product-based, audience-based, okay? Service-based, we just talked about that. You are serving clients forever, and you got to get more clients, and it's a lot of headaches. Highly don't recommend, okay? Don't recommend. Now, there's another business, the product business, which essentially you work for a long time building out a product, and you make it really good. An example of this would be you write a book. The book is a product, it's a fixed product. There's no different versions of the book. Yes, there can be different like covers and shit, but the book is the book. You spend a year, you spend 2 years, you spend 3 years, however long it is, and then you release it, and then try to put marketing behind it and say, people come buy this book, come buy this book, come buy this book through ads, whatever. A movie, again, is a product too. Yes, there's a whole bunch of people involved in it, but essentially they're building out a movie product, and then they deploy a lot of marketing behind it to get people there. Something smaller might be a t-shirt, right? You put your logo on a t-shirt or a funny saying, and then you say, let me try to sell this t-shirt. The beautiful thing about the product is, like, the product is the product, right? So you're not creating different things for different people. Like, different people as in one-to-one, right? You may have different segments or different, whatever, but you're not doing this one-to-one dance, because that shit will drive you fucking nuts. Drove me nuts. Drove me crazy. Entrepreneur trap. Products, you're probably going to, it's tough because you have a long period of time that you have to work on a product without getting paid, without knowing that it's going to succeed or not, unless you have history in the past. Then you have to be really good at marketing, like really good at getting the word out and understanding, like being able to convince people that they need this product. You still, a lot of times, have to do a bit of that service, like, hey, you need this product, don't you? This product will work for you. This product's great for you. You still have to have a little bit of that gab. And then on the other side of that, at the very end of that, customer service. The product is probably not that great. And so you're probably going to be doing a lot of tickets, a lot of bug fixes, re-implementing, blah, blah, blah. Unless it's like a product that just goes out and it never, Anyways, so that's product based. I don't recommend that for like if you're just getting started out. I do think you can build a product along the way, okay? So don't get that twisted. I do think that you can do that. A course, a digital course is a product. Education is a product. And one of my favorite types of products to consume and to work on building out. So you can do a product alongside, you can definitely do that. But I'd like to get to like the now of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So the third type of like business that you can make is a audience-based business, or an audience-based product, or whatever you want to call it. Like, 'cause the audience. So in the service is the product in business number 1. The product is the product in number 2, and the audience is technically the product in number 3. So why I like this much better overall is that YouTube, like YouTube, TikTok, whatever, you guys know what an audience is. You get to sit down each day and say, I'm going to spend an hour, I'm spending 2 hours maybe, and I'm going to build out a new digital product, because the video that you're watching right now is a product. It's a very small product, very micro product. You're not paying with money. You, the audience, aren't paying with money, but you're paying with your attention. You're choosing to watch it. And it's like you do it one time, and then it goes out to thousands and thousands of people. The leverage on that's crazy. And instead of me doing a one-to-one sales call with someone, right? This may take me 15 minutes, may take me 30 minutes. For every single one person, I can sit down for 30 minutes or an hour, make one video, and talk about cool shit and talk about the journey. And that goes out to everybody. And everybody can see that. And there are certain people that will care deeply about it, not care as much, and care little. And if you look at closing deals, that's the same thing. There's people that care a lot about it, care a little bit, care medium, and care like little or none. So like, instead of doing this one-to-one combat, you can just record yourself, build an audience, and put it out. Now, you're like, well, where does the money come in at? I'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, like, I'm going to say the obvious, but I'm also going to talk a couple of different things that just make it make a lot more sense. So typically what happens if you're trying to start a business, when you're an entrepreneur, is you have a business, you work for an employee, or you work for an employer, or you're self-employed, one or the other. So you have a day job that you already are doing. Most people aren't just like, fuck it all, throw it out, I'm gonna go do it. Highly recommend don't doing that if that is your plan. You already have responsibilities as a parent. So you have parenting, you probably have a spouse, and then you also have a day job that takes up majority of your time. So the idea that you think that you're gonna have all this time to build out a service-based business, which when I told you it's like 50 different clients, different teammates, all this stuff in your spare time, it's very hard. Not saying you can't do it. And I'm not saying that you can't trade the time, like you get a little bit of money, right, on the service, and then you're like, okay, cool, guess I don't have to work these 3 days. It can be done. I just don't think it's the best way to go about using your time. So what I'm doing is I do all that stuff, the family, the job, the whatever, but on the other side of that, I'm building out an audience. And right now we're making probably about 100,000 views per month. And that's just me starting up. I literally just started back up. And it's not actually hard to get 100,000 views, even as a small like creator. I'm literally like 350 subs ish or whatever. Like that's tiny, you know. The thing is you record a video, boom, you know, record it for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't personally like having to edit my videos, not because I don't enjoy editing. I love editing, but it doesn't make sense for the time. It doesn't make sense for me to record for an hour. And anybody that's edited knows this. The time of the video, if you make, let's just say you make a 10-minute video, it's going to take you 3 to 6 times more time to do the edit, because you listen to it and scrubbing out, you're cutting out some of the things, then you're going back over it again, then you got to hear it again. Like, you go through it several times. Not worth it to me. I think doing these talking head, you pick a niche, figure out a niche. I'm like, okay, cool, this is what I want to talk about. Busy parents that love business, busy parents that love self-development, you know, just pick something. Go to ChatGPT and be like, yo, what are 100 questions this avatar has? And then just deep dive. Don't talk about stuff you don't really know, you know, like state the facts, tell the truth. Like, I feel as though I was trying to better explain. I was trying to, like, I really wanted my service-based business to be this success so that I can then go tell about the success. Because that makes it good, it makes it easy to transition, right? You go through the jungle, you hack through the jungle, and then you get out of the jungle, and then now you can tell everybody about what it was like going through the jungle. Makes sense. But I opted to just change the tone, the whatever of this channel, just being like, this is my shit show. Let me tell you about all the fuck ups that I've made, and then hopefully that saves you time, which then saves you money. Because before it was more like, how can we make money? How can we It is about making money, but I'm more about on the lines of like, how can I save you time now? Because if I could save you a lot of time, time is money. It's the same fucking thing. It is literally the same thing. We trade our time for money every day. I don't know why people don't realize that or see that, but we trade our time for money. Me going to work is trading the time. I said, I'm going to be here for 8 hours, and you say, I'm going to give you money for you being here. Time is money. Money is time. Then the employer's like, I'm going to buy your time. I have money that I would rather you do this task because I don't want to do it, and I'm willing to part way with this money for you to do the thing. It's back and forth. Anyways, so with an audience, it leverages you up in so many different ways, right? One, everybody knows like that your follower count is a status metric, right? You go over to someone's channel, oh fuck, they got 1 million subs. Oh fuck, they got like, it is literally deal flow will happen much more organically or much at a rapid pace when you have a catalog of material that you've put out every day talking about a topic, so that shows depth. You also have a sub count to back that up. You also have a view count to back that up. And guess what? When you put in reps over and over and over again, like, it kind of makes sense. Like, you're just getting better and better at the topic. Then eventually in time, you reach that mark where you can get monetized. We're not there yet. Again, we're just talking. We're talking more. We're going from present to a bit of the future now. My assumptions of what things are and what things will be. I believe that I'm pretty on point with this. But you do your videos, you vibe out. One video, take it to Opus Clips. Opus Clips creates shorts out of it, so you don't have to create shorts. That was a big deal before. People were like wasting so much time trying to make shorts and figure out what the best short was. Like, I have a short that comes out every 2 hours. Every 2 hours. But I only sit down for an hour a day, maybe 2 hours sometimes, to like record videos. So it's like, I make a long form video and then I schedule up the shorts in Opus Clips. and it takes me maybe like 30 minutes to like schedule up the clips. And usually whenever I do one session, I usually have about 2 days worth of clips that can be scheduled. It'll give you about 20, 24, 27, 30-ish clips. And so if you think at one every 2 hours, that means 2 days worth is 24 clips. Anyways. Whew. So I know, like, just if I continue to just do this, like, the business just grows itself. The Will Mosley brand, the channel just grows itself. I don't have to go cater, like, I don't have to go cater to more and more different clients. I don't have to make sure that, like, think about the right thing to make sure the right thing to say about this text, and then let me get you that contract, and let me get you I don't have to do any of that. I'm not saying that these things don't work, because they do. Sales works, marketing works, like all this stuff works. I'm just talking about, like, when you create so much high leverage, because this is what this is. You create a warm relationship. Eventually, in time, when you're ready to actually sell a product, people are like, yo, I'll fuck with that. So, like, at least my ladder of where I'm at for, let's shift to future, okay? Like, we're in the future now. We build the audience. The audience gets big enough to monetize, start making money off that. We continue to do the exact same effort. What's crazy is we do the same effort every day, but we get outsized returns every day that goes by. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what leverage is. You do one input and you get, instead of one output, you get 2 outputs or 5 outputs or 10 outputs. And that's what an audience is. I'm doing the same task every day. I'm not changing how much energy and whatever I have to put in, but I get more and more and more and more and more as time goes by. So I get monetized. Okay. Right now, I think we're at, I gotta look at this. I think we're at like maybe 100, 150 hours of watch time. Again, we just started back up on YouTube over the last week. And I think you have to have 3,000 hours of watch time. So we're a good bit away, but I'll keep you updated on the watch time stat. And you have to have 500 subs. We're roughly 350, so that's a cakewalk. Upload 3 videos in the last 90 days. So that's too easy. We're uploading a video every day. Get monetized. Then there's sponsorships. We know this. Sponsorships are a vibe. And then the big thing is pretty much making like a Will Mosley course or courses about like self-development, about time architecture, stuff like that. And I make the course, it's a leverage. I make the course one time, and I know what the audience wants because I've been making this content for a while, and you can see like the feedback. And then I make a course. I'm like, yo, if you want this course, go vote, go check it out. And maybe 1% of the audience goes and buys it, and that's money. Feels good. And then you make another course, and great. So you got the monetization, you got the sponsorships, you got the courses, and then you got the merch, which we know, like slapping a logo, like slapping a logo on the tee, not hard, but it just grows. And then also you get the leverage of the respect of your audience, of the followership, of just being like, yo, we've done that. And so other people that want to collab and link up, which I don't know if we're gonna do any of that Lady in the Red Dress shit, but like, you have much more of a probability that actually will be a thing. So the entrepreneur trap, it's real. Service-based businesses, don't think I can recommend them. Like I've spent at least 10 years of my life grinding, at least, probably more than that, grinding to make a service-based business work. And then I got some taste of it. I got a little taste of like it actually working. But I realized that if I continued to move forward with how things were going, like I would just be so much more stressed out. I'd be so fucking stressed out. Like, I care a lot about like having control over my time. And when you make a promise to someone, you're promising away your time. You're literally like, that's what it is. You're trading your time for money. And I just think that if I'm going to be trading my time for money already, like doing regular work, like self-employment work, why not build something bigger, a 10Xer? So that's where we're at. We'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments what type of business that you are building, and if you've struggled at all with service-based businesses. All right, take care.